This video is going to be about how to do a reflection transformation on SketchUp. Alright, so what we're going to do is go a little bit faster through the initial parts of this because hopefully at this point you're somewhat familiar with SketchUp. Alright, so today we're doing reflections. Now what's the same is all the startup stuff. We're going to make a new file for SketchUp. Once again, SketchUp is this red icon, looks like a set of stairs. You're going to delete any pre-made objects on the screen. You're going to double check that your model info is set to a format of decimal and millimeters. And then you're going to do the top view. All right, which is Shift 2. All right, now the other thing we're going to need is we're going to need, again, a square so that we have a reference point. So once again, you're going to get your rectangle tool. You're going to hover over the origin, click and drag a rectangle, and then immediately go to your keyboard and do 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters to get your perfect square. All right, now here's where things, one last thing. We're going to select that square, and so that it doesn't affect the other things we do, we're going to go to Edit, Make Component, Glue to None, and Create. All right, so this is pretty much the same as our translation tutorials, okay? But today we're doing reflections. So here's where it starts to differ. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a vertical vertical reflection. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up to your tools, and this is a tool we haven't used yet. You're going to go here, and you're going to make sure it's on not freehand like we've used in the past, but the line tool, the pencil. Okay, this creates small little line segments. And what I want you to do is I want you to create a zigzag pattern from the top right corner to the bottom left. Okay, and once again, all this you'll do in class and the instructions are written out, but this is just to familiarize yourself before you get to class. So you'll start here at this corner, click, drag a line, and it can be any zigzag design. Just keep it simple for now. Let's say a line like that. Now sometimes it'll just continue, so I'm just going to click again. And then I want to go all the way down to this corner and click a third time. So there's my zigzag pattern. Okay. All right, now if you accidentally click again, just remember, just hit the undo and then just get it to where you want. So there's my zigzag pattern. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reflect this vertically. Let's say this zigzag pattern is upside down from what I wanted it to be. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your select tool, which is this icon right here. You're going to click and drag your zigzag. Now notice how it selected your zigzag, but it didn't select this side of the square underneath, and that's because we made it a component earlier. So the only thing selected right now is those 3 line segments I just made. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use a new tool. This is the scale tool. It's this one right here. It looks like a square that's being dragged to become bigger. You're going to click on that. Now notice how it put these little bars all around our zigzag. Okay. Now what you're going to do is we're going to scale it. We're going to use the scale tool to basically do a reflection. So here's how this is going to go. You're going to hold down the control button. Now what the control button does, you'll notice that little red dot appears. That's our point of reflection. Okay, everything we do will reflect around that point. So that's like the center that doesn't move. All right, and then what we're going to do while we're holding it down is we're going to click the upper middle grip right here, this one. And we're going to drag it around. And notice how everything centers around that center point. So if I drag it all the way down to the opposite corner, it reverses or it reflects my zigzag pattern. So notice how it started like this. I grabbed it down here, and then clicked again, and there's my reflection. All right, so now, once again, don't forget, this is repetitive. We're going to then get our freehand tool. Let's say this was exercise 4, or whatever it is. Draw 4, take a screenshot by doing Alt print screen, and that's a reflection. All right. So let's do one more like this, but just slightly different to get used to it. So let's start a new file and do all the same stuff. delete out all the pre-made objects, go to your window, model info. Now, my program is set to always be in decimals and millimeters. You might have to change this every time. So always double check it, even if you think it's already set. All right, and then go to the top view. All right, and now let's drag out our square. Start at the origin, drag out a rectangle using the rectangle tool, and then type in 100, 100. And there's our square. And then don't forget this part. Change it to a component. So select the square, go to Edit, Make Component, Glue to None, and Create. All right, so this time we're going to do a horizontal reflection. So what I want to do is this time let's do the freehand tool. Let's do a freehand tool, and let's start at the upper left corner, and let's just click and hold and just drag out some kind of weird curve and stop at the upper right corner. Okay, not the prettiest curve in the world, but that's okay. All right, so once again, to do a reflection, we're gonna select what we're reflecting with the select tool. You're then gonna go to this new tool. This is the scaling tool, and it should put this set of grips on the outside of your curve. Now, because again, we wanna reflect around the center, we're going to hold down the control key, and this little red dot will appear to denote that everything's going to reflect around it. If I don't do that, let me show you what happens. If I grab this one, it's going to reflect along the opposite side. But if I hold down the control key, it uses that as the center. So now when I grab this left-hand side grip and I drag it to the other corner, everything reflects around the center. Okay, so once again, I grabbed this grip here, dragged it horizontally, and then finished off there. Okay, once again, get your freehand tool, write whatever exercise you're on, take a screenshot, Alt print screen, and there you go.